for the introduction. My name is Yu. I'm a Metaverse researcher, and I'm super happy to having you join this talk. And maybe before we start this talk, I would like to ask you, who have you watched the Meta Connect event yesterday? You can raise your hand. Okay, so basically yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg just unveiled the most affordable VR headset ever. And the price is only like $300. So it's really paves the way for the mass adoption of VR in the future and gives us lots of imaginations and implications of what the future could look like. So, and yeah, they also provided lots of technical advancements, like you can have the travel mode, and then you can have like working space in the train, in the plane, and you can like having your personalized trainers, and you can take the sports trainer anywhere you go, and this gives you, and they are really working hard and push towards their envisioned metaverse. I think many of you here see the potential of the metaverse because of the economic prospect and the implications it has, especially when considering the Web3 and decentralized technology. But here, today, I think I want to start this talk from a different perspective. I want to focus on the impact of the metaverse on the individual, the impact on their real life and on their experience. Why is metaverse so fascinating for them? And what are their emotional feelings when they are engaging in these activities in this metaverse? Because we need users if we want to have a specific future. So to understand motivations of the individual user who spend large amounts of time in the metaverse, we see that they can do all kinds of activities. They are dancing, they are singing, they are relaxing and hanging out with friends. Basically, in the metaverse, you can do anything you want and be anyone you want to be. And also with these simulations of, sorry. And also with these simulations of like clubs and bars, and you can, maybe in the future it's so indistinguishable from the reality and make these improvements beyond your imaginations. So why does metaverse matter? I think for the younger generations, the metaverse, what happens in the metaverse is part of their real life. They think it's real. They don't think it's a virtual thing, and they live their part of their life in virtual reality. And I think this is an interesting video also showing why younger generation have a different perspective.
I was having dinner at a friend's house, this director, and he had some kids, and there was like a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, and they hadn't seen the film The Matrix. And so the director's like, well, why don't you just tell them what it's about? So I started to say, well, there's this guy who's in a kind of virtual world, and he finds out that there's a real world, and he's really questioning what's real and not real, and he really wants to know what's real. And the young girl was like, why? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, who cares if it's real? And I was like, what, you don't care if it's real? And she was like, no. Isn't that wild? It's awesome.
Yeah, so this, because of the perception of the virtual worlds, and now we're thinking about, will we live in the metaverse someday in the future because of the uniqueness of the experience there? And I think if we take one example of the VR chat, and in VR chat, people really had amazing experience there, and we can have look of the trailer shooted by HBO, and the whole movie is completely shooted within VR chat in virtual reality.
Making friends here is sometimes what saves people's lives, or what gets them up out of bed in the morning. I am a teacher for Helping Hands, a sign language community here in VR chat. Hand rested under our elbow, and we're gonna go like this. Christmas.
Slow, quick, slow. If I had confidence that I could teach dance as a living in VR, I totally would do exactly that.
With a long-distance relationship, having VR is a game changer.
We are 5,000 miles apart, but we're gonna try our best to make it work.
This year has been really hard. The thing that has kept me sane has been VR and the VR community. I would not have weathered this without you guys. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
You can be who you've always wanted to be, and you can, in a way, start over.
We can come together and support each other. This community means a lot to me, and I really want them to know that they're loved.
It's been a year since I've seen Kevin's IRL body.
Sounds funny.
Yeah, I'm also interested in the life in VR, so I interviewed 14 participants who spent more than 1,000 hours in virtual reality. And basically, if you live more than 1,000 hours, it sounds like living in there and have part of your life there. And I'm curious of their activities, their experiences there, and what happened, what makes VR so fascinating. And they shared some of their favorite words in VR chat. And here you can enjoying the beautiful evening and the beautiful mountains with their friends together. And some really like some artsy words, and they explore these words together with friends and have some amazing art experiences, and some are creators themselves. For example, here in this Shiba words, he created these words by himself because he likes Shiba and want to have a word with his dog. And there are endless possibilities here. Like in the first picture, we see the Transgender Academy. Participants explored their sexualities, and also they can try out different avatars, female, male avatars, without even having the real impact on their bodies. And they can have visit courses, trainings to, for example, have the female vocal, and so. And in the second picture, we see the global sign language school. So in this world, everyone is muted, and they cannot communicate through the real sound, and they have to learn the sign language to communicate, which help them to gain the empathy of the world when you cannot speak. And so they gained empathy, understand each other better, and also learned new skills, and then they can afterwards communicate with people who cannot really speak. And in the third picture, we see someone is exploring with this flying machine, and he is actually in real life only have 5% of the vision. So basically, he's not allowed to drive. So he had never had the driving experiences in real life, but in virtual reality, he tried flying the flying machine, and it's the experience that he had never had in real life, and it's beyond the real life experience. Yeah, and many participants mentioned VR has changed my life, because in VR, it provides certain kind of anonymity. So they use avatars, and they use full body trackers to communicate, and this certain kind of anonymity also provides them the chance to openly speak about themselves. And everyone here in VR chat are actually more open. They share all kinds of information they have. And so basically some people overcome social anxiety, and sometimes they have difficulties picking up social cues, but in VR, if you have full body trackers and people tend to be more expressive, they use more gestures, and then with this expressiveness, the people can understand these social cues better and have a better chance of communication. People have self-discovery, they explore themselves, and also experience things not possible in real life. Speaking of the loneliness, I think in real world sometimes also there is a talk from Simon Sinek. In real life, sometimes we prioritize our career or family over friendship. But actually, the ultimate biohack is friendship to overcome anxiety, mental health issues or something. But actually, friendship is not really prioritized in real life. But here in VR, people come to VR because they want to make connections, they want to make friends, and they want to do activities together with other people. So yeah, this really provides lots of opportunities, and also with the headset hardware, it can also provide greater accessibility. With this example, yeah, this is one person also.
I was born with blindness, and today I'm going to try the Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, really. Apple's spatial computing headset is right up to your eyes, and it captures the world around you while layering apps and media in your space.
Let's see how well Apple Vision Pro does for someone with vision low vision.
The first thing I noticed when the headset was capturing things in the real world, I could see things. And I mean, like, I could read the panels.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say this off the bat. I can see better through this than my normal naked eye.
Oh, wow.
Because it's so close to my face, but like everything's like a little bit more enlarged and like clearer. Yo, this is wild. How do I like go about not ever taking these off?
Like 90% of people with blindness, I still see something. Now I'm actually able to see things around me and identify them. And as I continue to look around in this headset, I'm beginning to understand the concept of depth perception for the first time.
Reduce white point, that might be good. I have underdeveloped retinas, photophobia, so we can reduce the intensity of bright colors. Oh, okay, so I'm testing out Zoom right now. Let me try to explain this best I can. It brings up a window over the application, and that window does follow you. It stays in a static point. The zoom is always following you, but what I'm noticing too, which is my finger tracking, I'm able to grab the corners of the zoom, and then, whoa, okay. So I can enlarge the window, and it's not stuck to a certain aspect ratio. You can make it vertical. That is amazing.
Apple also included accessibility features from the start. I can zoom, have everything read aloud to me with a voiceover. It even tells me how many people are standing in front of me. As a blind person in public, you often figure people might be staring, but yeah, now having that reassurance, I don't know if I needed to know this information. I opted to proceed without voiceover though. Due to the noise level in the store environment, it just was not ideal.
We got motor, we got cognitive, but I'm gonna be in the vision part.
But there was another problem. The input methods are your eyes and fingers. It has advanced eye tracking to allow you to select just by staring at an option. But I have nystagmus. My eyes involuntarily shake horizontally all the time. My pointer was constantly swaying, but luckily Apple thinks different. In settings, I opted to track the pointer not with my eyes, but rather my head, which felt much more natural. So, much like us using a smartphone, don't be surprised if you see a blind person in the realm of spatial computing.
Let me go back in.
Although I got to demo the Vision Pro, I still haven't been able to see what this is like day to day. Should I refinance my card and purchase one? Let me know in those comments.
Okay, yeah, from this video we also see the great potential, but also some design issues that should be considered, like the inclusive design. What if people cannot put some certain selections and inputs? Yeah, so this reminds me that we need to put the user in the center when designing technologies. Yeah, and also there could be also other pitfalls when we are using the hardware. For example, I conducted another experiment where I live entirely in mixed reality for 2 months. I used the headset across all my daily scenarios, like in the lecture hall, in supermarkets, in the train, in sports center, and anywhere. And I documented my feelings, emotions, and interactions with others. And so, and the results is not really, sorry. The results sometimes also giving us some like warning signs. Like when I'm using the headset, the bystanders actually don't know where is my attention, and they they could think about maybe I'm multitasking behind my headset. Am I really concentrating on this conversation? And maybe I'm secretly using an AI and prompting the whole time and having answers to interact with people, or maybe I'm having digital overlays on them. Yeah, and these design issues really remind us like what are the pitfalls and what the impacts when we really integrate technologies into our real life. So yeah, I think for designing an inclusive metaverse, we really need to consider the implications for both virtual world and also in the real life, and the impacts of our real life. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for joining.